to trip driving this thing with muddy soil. This thing slides. I'm on the side of it's not too bad of an incline, but it's definitely slick. It's raining right now too. It's not doing it as much as it did when I went up there. This machine was sliding down a little bit. Hold on, let me speed up the tracks. Maybe that was the difference. I guess when I was going up the hill, it kept sliding. And I gotta go walk back in this, take up my boots. Worse than they already are. Yeah, so it rained last night. The job site's shut down. I had to fix some fittings in this tractor. It was leaking hydraulic fluid, so. Set this boy down. Yeah, I just thought I'd share. Too bad it didn't do it, but it's definitely slick out here. So I'm walking up the hill right now. Just as an update, I got a new to me, transfer case and a 4080 transmission for the 56. I also got two different variations of the 205. So I have the figure 8 style 205 that goes to a turbo 350, and then I have the circle that went to a turbo 400. The turbo 400 is the one I'm going to do just because it's easier to adapt. I talked to Off-Road Design about an adapter kit, so I'll get some video of it, of the actual unit, and this will make more sense then. But it has a slip yoke tail housing, which is quite long. So I'm going to change it to a fixed yoke. And then by doing that, they offer a service to machine the tail housing to accept the speed sensor. Okay, so with doing this swap, there's two different ways. You can use the two-wheel drive or the four-wheel drive 4080. The two-wheel drive has both speed sensors in it already, so it's a bit easier as far as like getting the computer to work with it. But in my case, I got the four-wheel drive. The output shaft is shorter. The speed sensor has a rubber plug. So it has the provisions for it. So to get it to work, you have to tear the internals out, put the reluctor ring, put it all back together, and then put the external sensor. Then it's good to go. I was quoted a price, but I think this adapter kit and the way that I plan on doing it is going to be a little bit more cost effective. Plus it coming out of the transfer case coming out of a truck that had a turbo 400. It has the bigger output shaft bearing, so I don't have to machine that at all. The figure 8 one had the smaller output. I'm sorry, I keep saying output shaft. It's the input shaft. So the input shaft bearing is different size from the turbo 400 configuration to any other configuration. So if you have anything other than a turbo 400, you're going to have to machine the case to accept the bigger bearing like the turbo 400 configuration. So that's the reason I'm going to go with that one. They also have a spacer kit to allow this to hook up to my transmission with proper spacing, and I believe I need a longer input shaft for the 205. I think that was the change. The tail housing. Oh, and the mounts are different. So the figure eight has got a taller mount, so the cross member is different. So all I'm going to do is space it about 3 inches. I'll measure it when I get to that point, and then you put the 85 and newer transfer case mount underneath that, and everything should line up and be good to go. The figure eight still uses the flat transmission cross member, stock mounts, everything like that. But they do replace the mount itself with an aluminum one. You do the machine work, you change the input shaft, and then that should made up easy to the 4L80. But like I said, the 4L80 four-wheel drive needs the longer input shaft for the transfer case. The two-wheel drive has a longer output shaft for the transmissions to easily go into the stock Turbo 400 configured case, but because mine's a Turbo 350, I have to change the input shaft to the transfer case anyway. So I'm just going to get the longer one and put another four-wheel drive 4L80 in front of that. Do the same adapter for the not adapter, I'm sorry, the machine work for the output shaft and the slip yoke elimination, and do a fixed yoke. I just like the look of the fixed yoke better because it has the spline shaft midway in the drive line. I just like the look of that better. So that's what I'm planning. Yeah, I hope to take a photo, or I'm sorry, not a photo, video explaining this more and actually pointing out what I'm looking at on the transmission and transfer case. Yeah, I'll do that sometime this week.